life is all fine and dandy. You're probably watching self-growth videos because you're trying to improve on something in your actual life itself. Now, I've thought recently about what develops a strong person. Who is the kind of person that can deal with death, with loss, with failure, with illness, with everything taken from them and still be okay? You know, I just learned recently that in the last 10 years, more veterans have committed suicide than those that died in the whole Vietnam War. What's the difference between those people that go through that awful thing and live and function versus those that don't? In this video, I want to share 5 traits I think you can embody in your life that will help you do just that. What's up guys, Alex Hine, author of the book Master the Day. Now I've included a free goal setting worksheet. It's the first link in the description, and that'll help you plan out not only how to reinvent your life and going forward what you're really trying to do, it's also going to help you get focused and build the game plan for what to do next. So you can check it out, the first link in the description. So the first trait of really a resilient human being is that when things get tough, you maintain your rituals. You know, there's a few different ways you can go about treating adversity. A lot of people, they go through a breakup and they gain 30 pounds. Or they go through a breakup and they start drinking or smoking weed every night. Or something else bad that's not really helping them become a better version of themselves, right? To grow. And there are other people that transform that into post-traumatic growth, and they find ways that are healthy, they find ways sustainable, they find ways that really make them feel good. So the secret is, when you're depressed or anxious or going through death or divorce or heartbreak, illness, you try your absolute hardest to still get your ass in the gym, to still meditate 20 minutes twice a day, to still go to church, to still cook well and eat right, to still spend time with friends, even though you're in a mood where you don't want to be around anyone. It's the ability to still persevere with your rituals, regardless of how you feel. The second thing I've learned is that when you're going through the most adversity, this is the time you should lean on people the most in your life, right? Call your parents, call your siblings, call your friends. Forget how weak it makes you look or how needy it makes you look. That's what humans have done for millennia. I mean, infants die without physical touch. And you look at even studies done on rats and animals. If they're left and raised in a cage alone, and they're usually a social animal, their stress rates are 1,000-fold, and their rate of cancerous tumor growth goes way up because they're alone. This is a real, it's like a chemical thing that humans need for their spirit to feel at ease. So when you're going through the most adversity, that is the exact time to not withdraw, to not use a substance. Anytime you feel the need for that, reach out to a person and see, can we hang out? Can we get a glass of wine? Can we just get a beer and talk? Can we go get a movie? Volunteer if you don't have those people, or go to a local community somewhere. The third trait is to promise yourself that no matter how bad it gets, no matter how hopeless it gets, you're allowed to do anything except quit. If quitting is not an option, if suicide is not an option in your mind, you will find every other way, and you will not allow yourself to go down those dangerous roads. You're going to tell yourself, whatever you do, don't do something stupid. That's what you'll tell yourself. And so on the darkest of days where you're not sure if you're going to be able to get out of this hole because it's so hopeless, you're going to remind myself, my one thing is I may have to walk, I may have to crawl, I may have to be on my knees, but I'm never going to quit. And so this idea of you don't let yourself be allowed to quit, it's a non-option. So then you have to find other ways to feel good, to sustain yourself, and to be functional again. The fourth one is maybe a little bit tongue-in-cheek, but it's serious. Cry, then keep going. All right? Very simple. I went through a super bad breakup, I had all this other stuff happening in my life. I couldn't stop crying for like months. It was like a different soul was in my body. It was like a lifetime of sadness coming out in just 3 months. I mean, it was crazy. I was like, where was all this stored? At the end of the day, you can't just sit home and cry all day. It's okay to cry, to rage, to be depressed, to be anxious. But then you still have to get up and make yourself breakfast. Cry and make breakfast. Cry and go to the gym. Cry and meditate. Cry and go find new friends. Cry and go do what you said you were going to do to build your life. because otherwise nothing is going to happen. And that's really important. You should feel those emotions. They're there for a reason. They're gifts and they are messengers. But you need to cry and then still do what you said you would to rebuild your life, because that is a trait of a resilient person. The last thing is to walk or crawl, but never stop moving forward. The reason I share this is because I've always been a guy that was like moving 100 miles an hour, moving at light speed, like go, go, go. And then I found that going through my own burnout, the thing that really affected me the most was really just the fact that, for the first time in my life, it would take me an hour to work up the motivation to go to the gym. And I know a lot of people, that's a normal day. For the first time in my life, my apartment just looked like shit. There's just unwashed dishes, like clothes that are not folded, just stuff everywhere. I was really unraveling. And I was really beating myself up for not being like the guy who has it all together, for like arranging everything and keeping it all clean. And then I realized if you're sleeping 4 hours a day, 3 hours a day, no hours a day, you're not going to move the same way if you slept your regular 8 hours a day. So I would tell myself I'm allowed to walk, I'm allowed to crawl, I'm allowed to be a friggin' worm on the ground, but I can't stop. So if it takes me 3 hours to do what it took me 1 hour, then guess what? I'm going to have to make these adjustments for the next phase of my life. And I'm going to have to accept, however long it is I'm in this state, I'm going to have to accept this is where I am, and that's what I have to do. So promise yourself, you may have to walk slower, you may have to crawl, maybe you're depressed or anxious or lost, or like me, you developed intense insomnia that's scary. And just tell yourself, I'll do anything, but I won't stop. If I have to move like a snail, I'm going to move like a snail for as long as it takes. And I'm just going to do my best. And that's all you can do. All right, guys, I hope that helps. These are 5 traits I think that if you can embody in your worst phase of your life, you'll be okay and you'll get through it. I'm not saying it's easy. I'm not saying you're not going to wonder if you'll ever get through it. A lot of the time you do wonder that for a long time. But the important thing is when your life goes to shit, you never stop doing those rituals that hold it together, because that's the ability to rebuild your life in the future. So I hope that helps. Check out the first link in the description for the free goal setting worksheet, because that's going to really help you figure out exactly how to plan your life going forward and set the goals that are going to help you build that new life that excites you. Download it there, check out my last related videos right there, and I'll see you guys soon.